begin with a period of quiet meditation. Close your eyes and try to find the feeling or the sensation of the in-breath and out-breath at the tip of your nostrils. Bring up this quality of mindful awareness directed to that sensation of air coming in through your nose, through your nostrils. And the air coming out from your body, back out through your nostrils. As we practice mindfulness of breathing, we're bringing up the quality of sati, mindfulness, sampajanya, clear comprehension, alertness. Sampajanya refers to that, to the wisdom faculty, understanding what you're doing right now, what the purpose of this exercise of paying attention to the breath is for, knowing, comprehending the quality of the effort you're making at this time. So sati and sampajanya, they work together. Two friends supporting each other to do the task of paying attention mindfully to each in-breath, each out-breath. But for those of you who practice meditation regularly, you'll be aware that the quality of your effort may vary from time to time. And sometimes it's very intense. Perhaps we have a strong desire to gain mindfulness and gain control of our mind and pay attention to the breath. And that intensity of effort translates not only into a sense of mentally trying to control the mind, force it to the breath, but physically we may become tense in one or other part of our body because we're trying so hard to control the mind and make it pay attention to the breath and nothing else. Or other times you'll notice your effort slackens, weakens, and you're not trying very hard at all. You put your attention on the breath for a moment and then you allow your mind to drift away into thoughts and daydreams. And very often we end up becoming dull, drowsy, falling asleep. So as we cultivate sati and sampajanya with the breathing, we're observing the quality of our effort and where we need to adjust. If we're too tense, trying too hard, it will be counterproductive and it will be difficult to sustain the meditation for very long. We may even become uncomfortable in our bodies with a headache or muscle tension. Maybe mentally we feel uncomfortable trying to squash the mind onto the breath, trying too hard. Or our efforts may be too slack and we're becoming sleepy. We need to know the quality of our effort. Sometimes they compare this learning the right amount of effort to put into your meditation with the potter who's making a cup or a vase out of clay, turning it on a wheel. If you've ever seen that or even done that, you'll be aware that when you put wet clay onto a potter's wheel and it's spinning, and you want to shape the clay as it turns around, if you press too hard, it just collapses under the pressure of your hands. You make holes in it, you can't shape it in any way because you're pressing too hard and you can't get a good shape or a beautiful article that you're trying to get. But if you don't try hard enough, no shape will emerge either. You'll just put a little bit of pressure on the edge of the clay, but it won't really form up into the shape that you want. So you're learning as you make a clay pot or a cup or something, how to apply the right amount of effort with your hands to the clay to get the job done, to produce that cup or that flower vase, whatever. So in the same way, you're learning to apply an appropriate amount of attention to the breath, keeping your attention on the breath, bringing the mind's attention back to the breath if it wanders away, but not forcing the mind to the point where you feel physically or mentally uncomfortable. And that's a skill that comes through regular practice and getting to know the feeling that is just right, neither too much nor too little, where you feel relaxed but you're alert and awake, where you're putting forth effort but you're not squeezing the mind and bringing up a sense of aversion or mental discomfort that will result in perhaps restless or agitated states of mind arising. You're learning what is just the right amount of effort for you at this time. And you get to know that. And your aim is to get to the point where you're following the breath, observing it, paying attention to it, knowing it completely as it goes in, the beginning, the middle of the breath, as you breathe out, the end of the breath. Getting to the point where you can pay attention to the breath. You feel calm, relaxed, and you can allow the breath to go at its own pace. You're not forcing it. And you're keeping that mental alertness to what's going on, so that when your mind strays or wanders away from the breath, very quickly you're alert to that. You know that the mind is no longer with its object, and your task is to bring it back to the breath. And even though this is a frustrating process, mind runs away, comes back. You don't let the frustrations defeat you. You maintain your calm, your effort, your awareness, your alertness, to keep paying attention to the breath. So like the potter working with the clay, little by little, something productive is coming out of this experience. You're getting to know your own body in the present moment through the breath. And you're getting to know your own mind in the present. And when the mind is with the breath, you know it. When you lose mindfulness and your mind goes wandering away, once you re-establish mindfulness, you know that at that moment when the mind wanders away, you lost your mind. You weren't aware of it. Your aim is to have less and less moments where your mindfulness disappears and your mind strays and wanders into endless thoughts, stories, reactions, or is just falling asleep. You want less and less of those, and more of that time where your mindfulness is present, your mind is with the breath, and you know it's there.